Our SSDD today is on proportion. Now the bottom right hand question looks easier than the others, so you can do that one first. I'm just going to do them in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you don't have to do them in order. So I'm going to start with this top left hand question. A is directly proportional to root B. So I could write that as A directly proportional to root B. So I'm going to start by writing out A equals K root B. K just stands for some constant. As A increases, root B increases at some rate. I've just called that K for now. And substituting A to be 3, K root 36. I'm going to try and work out what K is. So 3 equals K root 36 is just 6. So I'm just going to divide 3 by 6 to get a half, and that's K. Make sure you're dividing the correct way around, as it's really easy to go the other way and say it's 2. And now I'm just going to write up my equation at the end. A equals, and I know that K is a half root B. So I've found out my equation. And I use that for the second part of the question that says, what is the value of B when A is 5? So I'm going to substitute 5 into my equation I found out. 5 equals half root B. So 10 equals root B. So I'm just going to square 10. So B equals 100. Right, question number 2. B is inversely proportional to C squared. So as B increases, C squared decreases at some rate K. So B equals K over C squared. Like before, I'm going to substitute in the value of B, and I'm going to substitute in C and work that out. So 4 equals K over 36. So K must equal, so this time I'm going to multiply 4 by 36 to get K equaling 144. And for the final step, you need to write out the equation. B equals 144 over C squared. Right. For the second part, it says, what is the value of C when B equals 36? So I'm just going to substitute 36 into this equation. 36 equals 144 over C squared. Swap them around to get C squared equals 144 divided by 36, which is 4. So C squared equals 4. And then I'm just going to square root to find out that C equals 2. Right, let's look at this bottom left one. Now this one looks the most trickiest out of the 4 questions. So, like before, A equals K root B. And I substitute my numbers in, so A is 12 equals K root 16. 12 equals K times 4, so K must equal 3. So once I've worked out that K is 3, my equation is A equals 3 multiplied by root B. So I've worked out an equation for the top one. So the second line says B is inversely proportional to C squared. So I'm going to do like the second question. And I'm going to write B equals K over C squared, substitute in my numbers. So B is 16. I probably should have used a different letter than K, maybe J, as they represent different values. K over 2 squared So then I end up with 16 equals k over 4. So k must equal 64. So write up the equation. B equals 64 over c squared. Right, so I've got my two equations. What is the value of a when c equals 4? So I'm going to substitute c into this equation here. So b equals 64 over c squared. C is 4, so b equals 64 over 4 squared. If you type that in your calculator, yeah, you've got 64 divided by 16, which is just 4. I'm now going to substitute this 4 into the first equation I found out. So a equals 3 root b. A equals 3 times by root 4, which is 2. So a equals 3 times 2, which is 6. And finally, question number 4. A is proportional to b. So the other ones will say directly, and this one just says proportional to. If it doesn't have a directly or an inverse in front, assume it's directly proportional to. So A equals KB. Substitute my numbers in. So A is 10 and B is 4. I'm going to do 10 divided by 4, which is 5 over 2. You could have had 2.5. At that bit. So I'm going to write out my equation. A equals 5 over 2, or 2.5, B. The second part, A equals 15. Work out the value of B. So A is 15 equals 5 over 2 times by B. So because I've done this as a fraction, I can do 15 times by 2, which is 30, divided by 5, which is 6. So B equals